Hello, this is David Turcotte with the Los Angeles City College Career Center. Today, we're going to be talking about an approach to career research that revolves around salary. So we're going to be taking a look at some resources in the career planning process in 5 steps that relate to salary and earning potential as you move on to either transfer or into your career. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and we'll get started. Okay, so again, this workshop we typically call Money Matters in the career exploration process. Again, we are representing Los Angeles City College. My name is David Turcotte, and I'm one of the counselors here in the Career Center. So some context, right? We're going to school for a lot of different reasons. Many of us are first generation. Many of us are going to school because we want to be to get a college degree or move into a better career. And we need to be really intentional and purposeful as we approach our education, because for one, education is expensive. And to be honest, living in Los Angeles is very expensive, as you know. According to recent data, and this is from Zillow, the median home price in the Los Angeles metro area, which includes areas like Long Beach, Compton, East LA, Boyle Heights, is right around $785,000, and that's in 2020. So we know as we're moving into 2022, it's gotten more expensive. So if you think about the math on this, that means that essentially you would need, for a 20% down payment, approximately $157,000. And that is a lot of money. And according to other data, to do this, you would need at minimum of a career that pays somewhere in the ballpark of $74,000 or higher to live comfortably or to afford a home in the Los Angeles area. And that would be really the minimum. So really what we want to do is think about this idea of a salary-based approach to your educational goals. You know, how do we know what we're pursuing will allow us to live the lifestyle that we really ultimately want to live? So what we like to do at Los Angeles City College is walk our students through these 5 steps, and we're going to go over these with great detail. Step 1 is reflection and evaluation. Step 2 is exploration. Step 3 is decision-making, goal setting. Step 4 is gain skills and experience. And then degree, certificate completion, and career. So let's talk about this reflection and self-exploration. Really what we want to do is kind of figure out your why. You know a lot of times what to do to be successful in school. Do your homework, study a lot, right? Form great partnerships, meet with your counselor. But your why is equally as important, right? Because oftentimes we have this idea of we know what to do, but if our why isn't clear or compelling, getting through school with all of the other competing things we have in our life can be extremely difficult. Okay, and so this self-reflection is really critical in helping us identify our personality preferences, our strengths, what our potential skills are, our current skills are, and really what our why is all about. Now, here at the college, we have a number of resources to help you do this. We have assessments like the Myers-Briggs personality assessments, Skills Finder, Skills Scan, Vita Navis, which is also another term for the strong interest inventory. And these things may mean nothing to you right now, but as we go through and take these assessments, we can get a much better idea of what your skills are, what your interests are, and what your potential could be. And these are just talking points. They're not evaluations. They don't judge you in any kind of way. They're just really helpful pieces for us to have a conversation with you about where you're going with yourself in terms of your career. And once we do that, we can start also the exploration process, right? And what that means is you might sit with a counselor and we look at a potential career. And for this example, we'll use business administration, right? If we're going to study business, what does that mean when you graduate? What does that mean even after you transfer and graduate? So what we'll want to do is start taking a look at the possible job titles that might be out there for you. What do they pay? What are the salaries? Salary is a funny thing. It's like it's almost a taboo that we don't talk about enough. And with our students at LA City College, we really want to make sure that we have these conversations, because again, they often don't happen enough. We will look at open job listings. We will pretend that you have whatever degree it is that you think you want to get, and look and see what the job market looks like. What kind of degrees and certificates are they actually asking for? What is the time commitment, right? What does that look like in terms of how long it might take to get a bachelor's degree or even a master's degree, right? A lot of our students aren't aware that a master's degree a lot of times can take even less than it can take to get your associate degree here at Los Angeles City College. So we will take a look at all of these things with salary in mind. What does the upward mobility look like? What does it mean to, let's say, be a human resources manager or director or supervisor, right? How do we move up in these career fields? Are there related careers that we haven't even thought about as we explore these various careers? Are there additional certificates or computer classes or extra things that we can do to make ourselves be the best future candidates or future versions of ourselves as we approach these careers? Okay, and when we research careers and career fields with the salary in mind, there's a lot of factors that we would look into, right? Regional information. Do people in Los Angeles area get paid more than, let's say, an area in Texas or an area in Northern California, right? We will look on careers based on industry sectors, job data. And these are a couple of research that are available to us here at LA City College, like Career Coach or Salary Surfer. We'll take a look in greater detail at some of these resources in a minute, but we can get advanced metrics based on community college data from various programs that are pulled directly from the US Department of Labor and Statistics for these jobs and salaries and educational career paths. And I'll give you an example here. What you're looking at is a snapshot from a website through our community college district in the chancellor's office called Career Coach. And you can see here, we're using nursing assistants as an example, but we can see how wages kind of look over time. You can see a little bit of an overview with the daily tasks that a nursing assistant might do. Annual job openings, you can see the median job salary, the outlook. You can get a lot of detailed information. And this is a favorite of mine to research salary. This is from a website called Salary Surfer. And I took this little snapshot and inserted it in the graphic for you. But this is, oops, let me go back. This is amazing information. As you can see, like with a program like Registered Nursing or Rad Tech, which we offer here at LA City College, you can see what someone is making 2 years before finishing a registered nursing program. And that's a little bit above minimum wage, $21,000 a year. But look at this. 2 years after completing that degree, they are now earning $76,000 or $77,000 a year, which, if you remember back on our icebreaker, that is a very livable wage in the city of Los Angeles. So that is huge. And that's with a 2-year degree. So again, as we make informed decisions about which major or career we want to go, this is really, really helpful for us as we go into making these decisions. And once you've decided, and once you've made a decision, okay, I want to do this major, now we can really set some goals because it's very clear for you. You can see where you're going to be working, possibly how much money you might be making, right? So it's easy for us to now make really, really solid long-term and short-term goals. So this is where your counselors here at City College are very helpful. We can make educational goals, your ed plans, right? We can literally list out every single class that you would need all the way to the point of you getting a job. We can talk about your career goals. Maybe you want to be a registered nurse, but maybe you want to work with a specific population. Maybe it's oncology or with children, pediatrics. So we can talk about that. We can even start to think about what your financial goals are. So if you're making $70,000 a year, or hopefully a six-figure salary, which would be over $100,000 a year, that would be an amazing salary. That helps you in 4 to 5 years start to really unpack your financial goals and your personal goals. If you want to own a house, or you want to send your kids to college or save money, whatever that might be that's related to salary or finance, you can literally start to look and unpack that. Your life or your future becomes a much more tangible reality when it's all laid out and your goals are set. When we decide a major, again, we can start planning for financial aid, whether it's at LA City College or another institution, like transferring. We'll get clarity on transfer. Let's say you want to be an engineer. Maybe now that we've unpacked the salaries and the education plan, now we can start planning for what maybe, Cal Poly Pomona might look like, or Cal State Dominguez Hills, Cal State Northridge at CSUN. And you can always change your mind, and that's the beauty of this, but you can change your mind in a very intentional type of way. And again, when we talk about the education plan, we can plan your semesters, we can make a comprehensive ed plan, we can always follow up if something happens or you need to change course. And we have lots of counseling services beyond career. We have academic, transfer, personal counseling and advisement. Now, here we are, right? You're moving along in your education, and believe it or not, as you move into your programs, whatever it is, you're actually gaining skills through school. You're learning the tools of the trade, whether it's the fundamentals or higher level courses that you can now apply to your resume. Your social media, your peers, faculty, they see these things. We can talk about internships and volunteer experience, or cooperative education, which is offered here at Los Angeles City College. Volunteering or doing internships is an amazing way to bump up experience, and it's awful critical when it comes to your resume or applying for future positions. And you can possibly start thinking about getting different types of experiences in whatever field you're interested in. So whether it's through internships, maybe you're studying to be a physician or nurse, and you could be a medical scribe or work in a hospital in a different capacity to get that sort of experience that you might need or be valuable as you apply for future career positions. And then lastly, we love you at LA City College, and we hate to see you graduate and move on, but it is a very important part of this process, graduation to career. So we have a lot of things, including workshops and videos that you can find right here on this YouTube channel about developing your resume, networking, and doing job search using some of the resources available to you. Interviewing is also a very, very important skill that is often not a natural thing for most people. So we can help you in the Career Center with interviewing. There's, believe it or not, there's different interview types. We could talk about how to scripting your answers, behavioral-based questions, which can be challenging on an interview if you're not prepared, using your resume as a framework to answer difficult questions. And then, once you get the job or the career of your dreams, now what, right? How do we think about continued job growth and development? Do we need to continue our education, which is always a plus? And that often leads to this term here called upward mobility, right? Having the ability to move up into more advanced positions or more nuanced positions that might be interesting to you within your own professional development. So what have we learned today? We've discussed that salary is important. And it could be a very critical fact or factor as it relates to how you approach your education and eventual future profession. We learned about some tools and resources that can help you look at salary and potential. We talked about the phases of career counseling and in terms of your own self-exploration, getting information, making a decision, setting goals, and moving up in your career. And really, as you think about it, the best next step that you could possibly do would be to make an appointment with your counselor to talk about these things in greater detail. You can find our information to make an appointment right here in this YouTube channel by clicking below. Again, my name is David Turcott, counselor here at the Career Center of Los Angeles City College. We look forward to meeting with you and hope that you enjoyed this presentation. Thank you.